get it done versus trying to be perfect? Why don't you take this?
Yeah, I think it's massive. Perfection will basically hinder you from getting anything done, probably in most parts of your life, but definitely in the podcast realm. For us, the funny thing, and again, I'm just going to give you my learnings. I'm not saying we're the podcast experts or anything. Like everything we do here at Metadata, we're not going to claim to be the gurus and the experts, but
Except hair
hair
care.
care,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
with you two, with you two, not me. There's a reason I wear a hat every day. Um, so yeah. But for us, you know, for me in particular, if you try to get everything perfect out the gate, you won't release a podcast. You won't even get it out to the world because there's so many things, you know, what mic setup should you have? What type of cameras should you get? What type of software should we record on? What should we name it? What there's like all these spots in production of the show that can literally stop you from doing it at all. And so, that would just be some advice, do you have a name for the podcast? Awesome. Name it that. Roll with it. Obviously have a good take on it. Make sure you're not copying anybody, but don't get hung up on that. Outline, same show format, roll with it. Don't let these things be hindrances of like what you should do, because those are the type of things that literally will keep you from ever releasing one.
And I think one really quick example on that is this. So when we were first getting started, I was very hands-on with trying to find the perfect social clips to flag and give to Justin. And I did that not because, I didn't think Justin was capable of finding those, but just because I've lived in this world and I'm very familiar with our audience at the end of the day, whereas Justin can run laps around me when it comes to content strategy and content marketing. And that turned into a big time suck for me. And I think what we ended up doing was kicking all of that over to you. It got you closer to the content, and like the clips that you're finding now, like it's perfect. Like it took you a little bit to get going, but once you got more familiar with it, like it was a great learning opportunity for us. And we would have never known that unless we tried to not find the perfect social clips from the jump.
Yep, absolutely. There's so many of those things. Another great example is like show format. So we had this really developed show format in terms of like how we were gonna do each and every show. We've ebbed and flowed, and some of them we hit, some of them we don't. But we don't kind of, you could see a world where, if we didn't have every single bullet filled out, well, we can't do this episode because we don't have X, Y, and Z thing in it. And we're just kind of rolling with it. So I would much rather have a podcast that was done but not perfect than one that's just sitting in the archive and never released because it wasn't 100% perfect.
Well, and the only three people who know that it wasn't perfect are you, are me, and Jason, and no one else knows.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. No, we marketers, we're never in our heads about what everybody else kind of sees. It's definitely way more important to get it out there.